Yeah, 'cause if it was just music, we know guaranteed you're gonna come and listen to
I
great
could have
music. I know
easily
that
done
already.
these parties
Yeah.
and just been like, 90s party, open the door. I know it's going to ram.
Yeah.
Good, give me all your money. Easily.
Yeah.
But again, and I also grew up with a lot of these people. You know, they trusted me for so long, and I've always been like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For years, like I used to run up and down Carabana on Friday nights on the street, giving out like heavy cotton Gildan shirts that I paid like thousands of dollars for,
Okay.
and just run down and just here,
Yeah.
you, everybody. And I had my team, like Mike Malcolm, all these guys would help me, and we just
course.
I had whistles like Fox 40 whistles, like
What?
professional, and I branded them and gave them out, and towels and everything. But
It's a reflection of you. If I'm gonna give you something,
Absolutely.
I gotta make sure that it's quality because
Absolutely.
it's a piece of me that you're walking away with.
absolutely,
You know what I mean?
people still have my shirts from 90s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it
You know
still
what I mean?
like looks like brand new.
That's so.
I've
crazy.
always been big on it, but that's the same way I treat my craft.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to give you my best, and this is what you're going to get out of me.
yeah, and that makes sense. That brings me to another
Yeah,
point.
but not enough people do.
They don't. They don't get it sometimes. You know what I mean? Or if they get it, they don't care.
They don't
You know what
care.
I mean? And that's really what it is. Don't
Everybody
care.
gets it. They don't care.
That's where something now brings me to another point where we're going to get a bit more serious. Because as a DJ, everybody sees you up there doing your thing, the parties going crazy and all that. But they don't know that feeling you get in the pit of your stomach.
I knew this was going to happen.
The pit of your stomach, when they say starting from scratch, 2 more. That turns on a different switch.
I could never do that, you know?
Yeah.
Pissed me off. I used to get mad at my friends when they used to do that. I was like, how do you guys do that?
Yeah, no, to me, it's, you know what? I had some friends that I didn't know how to do it. I just went home, tried. And now it's just a part of me. When you hear me do this, yeah, now it's on. You know what I
It's a
mean?
good snap, too. Or you got to battle Suspense, because Suspense has one of the hardest snaps I've ever heard.
I'm ready. Suspense, I'm ready for you. Yeah.
But yeah, you're talking about anxiety.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with that.
Okay.
I've literally been dealing with my whole career,
Okay.
but not knowing.
Fair enough.
So when I say that, I recognize that now because I look back at my career and I'm like, a lot of things make sense. Why I don't like to be in a spotlight. Why I don't like being announced on the mic before I start playing. Why I don't like being on stages.
Yeah.
But I had to do all this stuff.
Got you.
Right? And a lot of guys, like, it sounds so weird to say since I came out. The utmost pause for that one. But no, but since I made it public,
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of guys and I've been like, think back to this party. You know, when I was supposed to play and you saw me standing on the side of the stage and I was like, play some more.
Yeah.
Play some more. Play some more. I'm not ready yet. Play some more. Why do you think that is? But I didn't even consciously know that back then. But now me thinking back, I've been dealing with that my whole career. And it's, you know, thankfully I've been able to survive with it.
Yeah.
And been able to play along with it. But it's also held me back a shit ton.
You think that when you say held you back, how?
Traveling, all that stuff. I'm not afraid to fly, oddly enough. I love flying.
Yeah.
But just, I turned down a lot of stuff because I knew what it would put me in.
It will put you in a position that you don't want to be in. So before I go and do something I don't want to do, I'll just say no, or I'm booked already.
Yeah.
And just leave it at that.
Yeah. And then what happened in the early, like, I never used to drink early on in my career.
Okay.
Ever.
Yeah.
And then once I started drinking, obviously you get the liquid courage, and I was like, okay, it just became habit. I would be like nervous and this, and then I'd be like, didn't matter to me. But again, consciously not thinking what I'm doing. And, you know, so many times I was like passed out and hammered and playing piss drunk all the time.
And nobody saw this or even knew.
No, people knew I was drinking, but it was just everybody was drinking.
You're in a club.
Nobody thinks of
do.
it like that, right? But like I say, all this changed. My whole thinking on it changed since I made it public and realized my problem, right? So it's like thinking, I can think back 25 years and be like, okay, this all makes sense. Even because I didn't know one person that ever told me they had anxiety. Ever.
What is that?
Ever.
What is that?
Right?
You know what I mean?
So it's just like, yeah, I'm there, like butterflies and nervous, and I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I was always able to like curve around it, skate around it, and be like, I don't like that, so I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to be here, so I won't be here.
Makes sense.
I don't want to go there, I'm not going to go there. And this over time, it was just regular. Drinking, playing, drinking, playing, drinking, playing.
Goes hand in hand.
I don't even think I can remember not drinking and playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just terrible. Like thankfully, I was able to fucking perform drunk. Otherwise, I would have been gone a long time ago. And thankfully, I'm alive driving.
Yep. Wow.
Because there's 2 times that I should have died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't. So, yeah, it's just over time. And it just, I would play and I would get home and wake up the night. Never had hangovers.
Okay.
Ever.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know why. And I would get home and I'd be like, I don't remember what happened yesterday. I don't remember anything after 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I played from 10 to 4.
Yeah, not good.
And I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
And I'd look through my Serato after and I'd be like, oh, man. And everybody's
was
like,
pretty
yo,
dope,
you
though,
killed it last night. And I was like, all right, I have to take your word for it.
Yeah.
And it just became too much. And I just got to the point, I had my tipping point. Like my anxiety just got worse and worse, which it obviously will, because all I'm doing is
under control.
Suppressing it for the few hours that I'm drinking. But the thing with me is, like, I don't have a taste for alcohol. I don't even particularly like alcohol. And I don't social drink. Never have.
Okay.
If I'm not working, I don't drink. If I'm not, like if we go out for dinner, like my wife would give me shit. She's like, we go out to the keg and I have wine, you won't even drink, but you'll drink with your friends at the club. I'm like, I don't like drinking.
Yeah. I don't like the taste of alcohol.
No. That's why, like, I used to drink Mike's Hard, and then I would drink Rev, and I would drink Appleton, and I would drink Jack, and I would drink like chugging shit. Like, but it didn't matter to me. Like, the only reason I was doing it was just to be a different person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
get you in that zone.
Yeah, just to be a totally different person, but it just got worse. Like I would be in, I would travel and I'd be in my hotel room like before I'm even at the gig, because I would start to get nervous.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to go to the gig drunk now. You know what I mean? So it just got progressively worse, it always will. Think of this is 20, almost 30 years of doing this.
Yeah.
So, it just got to the point where now I was getting shakes, and I was, getting extra nervous. And I had that one time when I first made my first post was I did a small room in Montreal, easiest gig. And I was just shaking. And I was like, I had to start drinking.
Yeah, it's like, Mark, get it under control.
And I got smashed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got on the plane. It was like 7 a.m. and I was still drunk. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing, dude?
Yeah.
You're like 40. I'm 45 years old and I'm acting like I'm 20. I'm going home to my kids and I'm going to smell like liquor. And I just started typing. I was just fed up and I just started typing and I didn't even realize what I was writing. I hit send and the plane took off. And when I landed, I was like, I was like, wow. Like,
Whoa.
Oh, are you going to commit suicide? And I was like, no. I'm not depressed.
Yeah.
I'm not depressed.
Just a little anxious.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, whoa. And then at the Usher in December was when it hit me the hardest it's ever hit me. And I wasn't physically able to DJ.
The funny thing, I was there that night. I came and said, okay, Scratch and Specs is going to be there. I want to see Scratch. I've been a fan from 19, how long? So I said, okay, I want to see what Scratch is going to bring tonight. Okay, cool. So then I seen you were up there, you and Specs. I seen even 1 and 2 times you're showing him Specs, okay, play this. I thought you were just coaching him on the sideline, and you didn't play for that. Okay. I didn't really see what it was. Yeah.
Nobody knew. And I mean, I've always had such a huge admiration and love for Specs, but that night alone, it changed my view on him forever. Like he's above, anybody else I can think of when it comes to DJs just for what he did for me that night. I've never felt that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I had stopped drinking.
Yeah.
So I made a vow to myself, to my family, to my wife, that I was not, if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it cold turkey.
Yeah.
And it's been the hardest thing I've ever done.
For sure.
And I've struggled tremendously. I've played the worst I've ever played. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just not myself.
Yeah.
Right now. You know what I mean? Everything is different.
The reason why I even brought this up is because you being such top tier, everybody's looking up, say, hey, this guy's good and everything. But it's just to make them see that you're also a human being also. I have all these amazing skills. I could do all of this, but I still feel stuff inside also.
Of course.
So
and
you guys might feel it also.
Yeah. And I mean, it's only a public thing, right? Like I did the radio for years. It never bothered me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Ever. It would just be, I never drank when I did radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't go in there drunk.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just gotten to the point now where like I'm basically in the fight of my life, and I know this is the only way I'm going to get better is if I take it on head on.
Yeah.
And
like I said, the time at Yush, I literally put my hand on my computer and my body froze and my chest was so tight. My chest was so tight for 4 hours straight that the next day, the next 2 days, I was like physically sore.
Yeah.
Like that's
because
how
it was that tight.
you literally could have picked me up like this that night. Like,
And
put
you'd
me
be
down.
stiff. Yeah.
And nobody knew. Like everybody, some guys, even Jamin, who's behind me the whole night.
Yeah.
That didn't sound good either. Pause. But he's like, yo, I just thought you were pissed off.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get it.
I spoke to you that night.
But
and
I
you
told
just-
Specs, I whispered in Specs' ear. I leaned over to Specs and I was like, dude, I can't do this.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? I was like, my anxiety, I can't. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying and I can't. I would look at my screen, it would look blank. And I went to put, as soon as I went to put my hand, it was like somebody was grabbing me and holding me. And I was like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like demolished.
Yeah.
Like internally, I was crushed because this is my life.
Of course.
So now think about this being your life and somebody you don't even know is like, you cannot do this anymore.
Yeah.
And that's basically what happened.
This
to me.
real random person out of nowhere.
And I was crushed. And I just leaned over to Specs and I was like, I can't do this. He's like, no worries.
I'll take
He's like,
this.
go outside. I got you. And I was like, I can't go outside because I didn't want to draw attention. Plus, I wanted to, I was, in my mind, I was like, you're going to do this for me. I'm going to do this for you.
Got you.
So I literally just stood there like,
Yeah. Just
The
get
whole
this,
night.
Get this night over, please.
yeah. And the next morning I woke up and I cried like a baby because I was like, it destroyed me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody can understand how it feels. You know, I'm sure some people can, but when it really like, I was just like, I'm done. In my mind, I was like, I'm done.
That's it.
That may be the last gig I ever play.
Okay, so let's bring you back to Thinger to Yush last Saturday at Boss. Listen, I seen you do some stuff. I said, this is the scratch I know. This is when I seen you perform. I said, this is a scratch I came for. That's why I didn't even talk to you till the end of the night. Didn't want you to see me, didn't want to talk to you. I just want to leave you alone, talk to you. When I seen you do a trick with, this stood out in my mind, the trick with Conscience, do something. Where you changed the pitch and then you looped it, do something, just, and then you mix something under. I said, listen, this is why this is the man right here. You know what I mean? And again, remember, you're not seeing anybody in your mind. You're just doing this. You hope the crowd is reacting, but I remembered that. That night, what I learned about starting from scratch, you're heavy on the echo, light on the scratching, but 10,000% vibes. That's starting from scratch. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, everything's changed. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm basically starting from scratch right now,
Yeah.
in all senses of the word.
Okay.
I've had to I'm basically trying to retrain myself. You know what I mean? I just started therapy. I'm only like 4 sessions in.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's right now. I don't enjoy being out there
Okay.
at all.
But you're still, but again, because I guess you're so leveled all the time, you're still amazing, boss. Amazing. I'm telling you, what I see in Saturday night, it was so crazy. This is a scratch I know. But again, it's what I see is totally different than what you feel.
But I'm not happy.
Yeah, and that's always the bottom line. Are you happy? Everybody
not.
wants to know how much money you're making, how is your relationship going. Nobody ever asks, are you happy?
No, I'm not. And like every party I leave, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's horrible. I think I played shit. I mean, I do Get On Up, which is my favorite party to do. I play for 6 hours by myself.
Yeah.
And I leave, and everybody's like, hey, and I have my head down, and I'm like, okay, let's go home. I beeline out, gone, bang, leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean? I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy thing for me.
So you're trying to get back to the stage of being happy.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have to, or else I'm gonna stop because I don't like what I'm doing right now. I'm not happy. Like I'm playing music and I'm like, don't play this song next, and the next thing I know, I'm playing it. Like I'm doing things that are not in character for me, and I can't survive like that because it's not me, and I never. It just goes back to me wanting to put out the best product, and I know I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's really what it comes down to. Scratch. Listen, we could sit here for hours and hours. You know how many questions I have on this iPad right now?
Fire them off quick. I'm in no rush.
This is where I'm going to carry you to the rapid facts round. This is where I ask you some quick questions and you just spit them out quickly.
I might not be good at this one.
I think you are. You've been an amazing guest so far. What do you say? How has he been as a guest?
Great.
He has to say that. What is he going to say? Shit? I'm sitting right here.
He could say he was good, he's cool. But you know what I mean? Big up Duke. Film stars, they're here taking care of the video and stuff. You guys will
Show
see.
yourself
You know
on the
what I mean?
camera.
Yeah. Okay, let me hold the camera. Okay, you know what? Look. This is Duke right here.
There
Big
you
up
go.
yourself,
There you go.
Duke.
There
All
you
right?
go. Film stars.
Film
are hard,
stars.
baby.
They're taking care
Scratch
of.
all day. I'll go back and say like from like what, 89 when I was in like grade 9, and bring up TKO and all
Yeah,
those guys.
of course.
You know what I mean? So back in those days, and Specs, Rice and Peas. Remember that name?
Yeah. Oh. You're going down for that one, Specs.
You're going down. All right, let's get into this quick. What's the wallpaper on your phone?
My kids.
Okay. What's the last thing you Googled?
Probably music lyrics.
Okay. Fast food or home cooking?
Home cooking.
All right.
Not to say that's what I get all the time.
When it comes to 90s, do you prefer 90s hip hop or 90s R&B?
To me, they go hand in hand,
Yeah.
to be honest. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a decade like the 90s for R&B.
Yeah.
And for both, I think they could. Because I've always played them together, so they
Yeah.
kind of always stick them
It's
in
all
together.
the same. Again, goes back to the very first thing you
And a
said.
lot of
It's
them
just
go because
all-
a lot of the R&B was on hip hop beats and so forth. So I think they kind of goes hand in hand.
Okay, so then let's go a bit deeper. Dancehall or lovers rock?
Lovers rock.
Okay, makes sense. Who's the last person you called or text?
Always my wife.
All right. Last place you've been on vacation?
Vacation.
Yeah.
That's the key word, eh?
Yeah.
L.A. with the family. I don't really take vacations, so.
Yeah. Okay. What's your hobby?
Besides playing with my kids, sports,
Yeah.
hockey, badminton.
All right. What's the last song playing in your car?
I don't listen to music in my car.
You don't
I
listen?
listen to like Howard Stern and
Yeah.
talk shows and stuff like that.
Podcasts and those type of. Okay, makes sense. Okay.
Very rare listen. Only when there's like my wife or the kids in the car, then I'll
Yeah.
listen to music. But
Makes
for the most
sense.
part, I don't.
Makes sense. What's your favorite type of food?
Greek,
Okay. What's your favorite song of all times?
don't have one.
You don't have one.
Don't have a favorite song, favorite group, favorite album. I can't.
Why not?
It's too much.
Yeah.
Too much. I can't narrow it down. I'll change my answer every 3 minutes.
Could you give me one this minute here and then we'll worry about it 2 minutes from now?
I won't
You
do it.
can't.
I won't do it. Can't do
Okay.
it. What's yours?
What's my favorite song? It Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
Really?
Yeah, that favorite song of all times. I love that song.
It's a great song.
Yeah,
Can't beat
amazing.
that energy, but yeah.
It's you understand. It's that.
So I see what
energy.
you just said there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See how what you just said is the reason I do my parties.
Okay.
Because I know you're not going to Crocodile Rock,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I know you're not going to those places. But if I told you I'm going to do this party and we're going to play Nirvana, you'll come.
100%.
That's what I'm talking about.
Makes sense. So you just proved your theory. Makes sense. All right. When it comes to West Indian food, do you prefer curry goat or oxtail?
Oxtail all day.
All day. All right.
Very hard to find a good oxtail.
You're right. One word or phrase you say too much.
Fuck.
Especially just like that. Nice and fuck, man.
You know it's bad when my son's like, Daddy, don't say that.
Okay. Are you an early bird or late owl?
Now, early bird.
All right, I guess the kids and stuff.
I have no choice.
Okay. When it comes to social media, what is your favorite platform and why?
For my release,
For you, whether you like to put out stuff, whether you like to consume it, whatever.
I'm terrible on social media, so I only use it for what it is.
Yeah.
Favorite, I guess, maybe Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't even look at Twitter,
Yeah.
and Facebook is just like a side chick to me. So I don't use Snapchat.
Yes. So he doesn't partake in that because she's a side chick. Yes.
I don't like Snapchat. I'm not into any.
You're
of
not
those
into
things.
all
No,
that.
no, no.
Okay. How has marriage changed you? For the good or for the bad?
For the best. I mean, my wife is just. She's changed everything, really.
Yeah.
Like, she's my, I don't even know the words.
Yeah.
It's corny to say she's my rock because that's a typical thing. But I mean, she's just the one who keeps me on the straight and narrow.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have seek therapy, or I wouldn't have gone to the doctor to get
Yeah.
a checkup when I turned 40, or I wouldn't have done these things because
A good woman does that.
yeah, she's just, she's the perfect complement to me.
Makes sense. Last one here. Biggest regret in your professional career?
Give me a second with that one. Biggest regret.
Yeah. You know what? There's going to be one more after this.
Probably that I didn't take, because of my situations, probably that I didn't, be that international guy that I was supposed to be.
Got
and I mean, I've got to do it through outlets like Russell and so forth, but probably to be, I should have been Khaled.
Okay.
I was right. I was primed to be that person.
But your personality wouldn't allow you to be like that, though.
Not showboaty, but I'm talking big,
Yeah.
like DJ.
Yeah.
Like, I should have been like anybody. I mean, I was primed to be. I had, the country by the balls, and I had everybody else watching and taking notice. You know what I mean? And I guess I just didn't, take advantage. Don't get me wrong. When I say regret, it's not like I sit there and be like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a regret, but I'm not sad about it.
Yeah.
I've managed to live a great life, and I've
Amazing.
always, and another big reason for that too is just I love Toronto so much, and I worked so hard to get to where I am in Toronto, and I fought so many battles in Toronto, and anybody that was DJing in the 90s, and I'm sure it was probably worse in the 80s. If you weren't the best, you got shit thrown at you, you got booed, you got
Like for real.
rushed.
For real.
You got all kinds of shit. So to be able to survive all that, I really didn't want to have to go do all that again.
Yeah. I got you.
You know what I mean? I was like, I've done so much here. Canada's easy. You know what I mean? I got Canada. That's easy. I just didn't want to have to go to the States and be the fifth guy on the bill and work my way. I wasn't ready for that.
Makes sense.
And again, I never had anybody that was going to take me to these places either.
Yeah.
So I always had, I want to bring you here and I want to do this for you, but typical music fashion doesn't happen.
You understand.
But yeah, I think I think if I wish I had somebody that could have done that stuff for me.
All right. As I said, I'm going to throw in two more here.
Hit me. I'm not going anywhere.
All right.
We're doing this all night.
All right.
Pause.
How much more battery life you got there?
Let's run it till it drops. We're gonna
All right.
we're gonna Kramer this shit.
All right. Good. Okay. When it comes to what's your proudest moment so far in your entire career?
I've had so many.
Yeah.
I think two proudest ones would be the fact that I get to tour at Russell, just because I'm proud of him.
Yes.
And I mean, we started together basically, and I'm so proud of him. And just the fact that I'm able to, tour the world with him, I think is amazing. And the Usher thing, I'm very proud of too. Just because of the way it happened. It only happened on the sole premise of me rocking the shit out of his party.
Yeah.
And making him dance all night.
into that Usher situation since we didn't touch it. Tell them about the Usher situation.
I mean, I've told this story a bunch of times. I was doing a friend's wedding, who's no longer married.
That's
But
why
thanks for the opportunity.
but if you know the story, the original story, he puts the person's name in it. So we're just gonna leave it out of this one here.
It was Director X. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, I did his wedding reception. It was in a small restaurant, and Taj had told me, Usher's going to be there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, okay. And then he introduced me early on, and Taj was like, "This is the guy I was telling you about. This is the guy I was telling you about." And I was like, "Okay, cool." This was right at the beginning, and then I was just playing music. Probably like 70 people there. It was a really intimate thing.
Okay.
And people were dancing. I didn't even know he was still there.
Yeah.
And then Taj was like, "Yo, you see him out there? He's going crazy." And I was like, "He's still here?"
Yeah.
And he was like sweating in his suit jacket off and like drenched.
Yeah.
And then I knew he was there, so I was like, started doing some Usher
Showboat a bit.
remixes. Yeah. And then he kept looking back and he's like, and then the night finished and I cut off the music and everything and I turned to there and well, he's like this high.
Right.
So I turned and he was standing beside me and he was just leaning on the wall. And he's like, he goes, "What are you doing in a few months?" And I was like, "I don't know. You tell me."
Yeah.
I just literally was said, I was like, "I don't know. You tell me." And he's like, because Taj would kind of give me a heads up, like, if things go well, you never know. Maybe he'll want to bring you on tour. So I was like, okay, cool. So I said, "You tell me." He's like, "Well, I'm going to take you on tour." I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm going to line you up." And his mom was his manager. He's like, "Talk to my mom. Hopefully you guys can get it worked out." Everything worked out money-wise. And this is, again, how I don't know enough about business stuff. Because she was going to pay me, she wanted to pay me by scale. Because, when you go on tour, the band and dancers, everybody gets paid by scale. They all kind of get the same rate, unless you're the band leader.
Okay.
But you basically get a salary.
Okay.
It's not crazy money.
Yeah.
Nobody makes crazy money on tour.
But it's just compacted because of how many dates.
Yeah, and you don't really pay for anything on tour. You don't pay for your food, travel, all that stuff. But I was like, no. I was like, "You want me for how many? 15 shows?
Yeah.
This is how much I charge per DJ gig. This is how much I want per show."
Yeah.
And she originally thought I said, "That's how much I want for the week or whatever." So she's like, "Okay, what is that?" And I said, "No."
Yeah.
I said, "You got to pay me for each gig."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay, I'll call you back." Then they surprisingly took it because I think I was the highest paid.
Okay.
And he originally wanted me just to do what I do.
Yeah.
He's like, he was doing the One Night Only tour, it was called. Strictly ladies in the crowd, they had said.
Wow.
And he wanted me to come out half an hour before, just play music, and then the band goes on. Done. I was like, okay, cool. So they called me. They said, "You're going to have rehearsals in North Carolina." 2 weeks later, I'm there, rehearsal. He comes to me in the first day of rehearsal. He's like, "I changed my mind." He's like, "I want you in the band." I was like, "What does that mean? I've never been in a band before." He's like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "I want you in the band, and you're just going to be a part of the band. I'm not going to use you in the intro." I was like, "Okay, cool." We're doing our thing. He's like, "Can you come up with an intro for me?" I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll try." So we started doing stuff. He comes up to me again. He's like, "Okay, I want you to do a solo.
Yeah.
You're going to have a solo." I was like, "Okay." Nobody else has a solo in the group.
Yeah.
I'm the only one with a solo now. I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Do you talk on the mic?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Nope." He's like, "Well, you have to."
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, if you don't, someone else will." I was like, "Okay, fuck, I have no choice."
Yeah.
I'm calling my friends back home. I'm like, "I don't think I could do this, guys. I don't know what this guy." My friends are like, "Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Buckle down and do it." But again, this is all anxiety, all these things that I'm dealing with, but I still didn't know.
Put it together to understand what it was.
So it ended up being that I opened the show. I had my own solo for a minute and a half by myself, spotlight on me with the mic, the most uncomfortable situation I can ever be in.
Yeah.
Then I had a solo with Usher, just me and Usher.
Okay.
Where I was playing tracks that he wasn't performing,
Yeah.
but he would sing along. And then I opened the encore by myself.
Okay.
So I had all these things that I had to do. And it was just, it hurt me so, like I was so stressed and like I wasn't myself.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I told him I can't do this.
Yeah.
Because, and again, it goes back to me also not being used to being a player in a band. I'm not used to that. I'm used to me being by myself, doing what I want. I'm not used to having to do the same thing, same time, every day.
Yeah.
You have
Day
30
in, day
seconds.
out. Yeah.
Don't go 31.
Yeah.
Don't go 29. 30 seconds. So
Get
I
outta
wasn't
here
used
with
to
that.
it.
Yeah.
And there was even a point where Usher was like, because he had this like weird intro where it was like him singing, but he wanted a beat to it.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let's make the drummer play it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I want you to do it.
Yeah.
So I had to find a beat.
Yeah.
So first show I do it, come back the next day, he's like, nah, I didn't like that one.
Mm-hmm.
So my internal instinct is like, you motherfucker. So I have to go find another one. But all this stuff is like stress and stress and stress. And then one day he said to me, you know, that was offbeat what you did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it was. I was like, no. And the band was all there. And I was like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it was. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we went backstage and he came up to me. He's like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Like he knew something was wrong. I was like, I can't. This is too much pressure. Like I can't. And he said the same thing to me. And it's always stuck with me. He said, you know, if you don't do it, I'm going to get somebody else that will.
Yeah.
And it just always stuck on me. Like I was just like, even though I always had that approach anyways, just to hear him say that to me, I was like,
outside of the thought
this is
of
the
your
business.
mind.
And it was just, I wish it was longer. Are we done? You cut off?
No, cut off. But I'm like, what the fuck?
I wish I had more time.
Yeah.
Because by the time I finally got into my groove, we were near the tail end. But it was, he literally pushed me to my ultimate limit. And it made me a stronger DJ, made me a stronger everything.
Yeah.
Like now, as much as I hate talking on the mic, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As I said, I could count probably 3 times I've seen you talk on a mic. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, he pushed me to my ultimate limit, something I've never had to go through before. I mean, I've toured with, you know, Keisha Shante and Jellystone and a few of my friends before, but they were friends.
Yeah.
And they also had trust in me, so I could kind of do what I wanted to do.
Back to the Scratch gets to do what he wants to do type of thing.
Not so much. I still have to play a role, but
Yeah.
I was more comfortable because it was more relaxed. Like touring with Russell. I could do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, go do something.
Yeah. Make it happen.
Yeah. So just it was just a whole different environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean to those guys, it's all regular because that's the tour life. That's what it is.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, I'm gonna get someone else right now, and it's like next day you're gone, bang, bang, bang. It's
In and out.
cutthroat.
Yeah. In and out.
But it was an amazing experience. I mean, when we did the show at Government at Cool House, it was beautiful. Like my family, my mom was there, like, and just to be, you know, I'm with Usher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, think about
and
that.
you get to again, as you said, your mom and everything. They're looking at you on stage.
Yeah,
with
and
this
nobody
guy,
had really
Usher.
done that. I mean,
Yeah.
A-Track was with Kanye. But besides that, nobody was really, you know what I mean? Nobody from our country had ever really had that chance.
Yet we didn't really get to that level of
Not
stuff
with
yet.
not with an artist like that. So I mean, it was a shit ton of pressure.
Yeah.
Not to say I would handle it better now, but I could figure out ways to handle it better now.
Got you.
You know what I
More
mean? Like,
tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just kind of thrown into it before and didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I struggled immensely, but I still did it.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? And now I think I would be able to sit back and be like, how do I calm myself down, and how can I do this properly and know my role? And I would be happy to do it again this time.
Because you have the tools and you understand it.
Yeah.
Last question here in the rapid facts. Kid Capri versus Jazzy Jeff. Who do you have and why?
They can't battle because they're two totally different types of DJs.
Reese, what do you mean?
So, like, Capri isn't technical at all.
Okay.
Sloppy,
yeah.
but an absolute animal. That's why I always cite those guys as my two idols, really.
Yeah.
And they're the two I modeled myself after, but I just took pieces of both.
Got you.
So, I mean, Jazzy Jeff, still the smoothest, the most technical, anything.
Yeah.
But he's not hype like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he won't get you to your ultimate,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But you can't touch him with other stuff. Like, to DJs listening, they'll understand when I say it's little things like recovery.
Yeah.
And stuff like, I'm a technical guy, so I've seen him, you know, make mistakes and catch it before anybody would ever notice. And like those kind of things
you
stick with me.
understand
Of
what's
course.
going on.
And those things always stick with me. And I've always just sonically, even on record, like he's always been the smoothest to me.
Okay.
And Capri, it was just from the first time I saw him, I was in awe. I was like, this is incredible. Because I was like, he didn't even play one record yet, and the crowd was going ape shit. Just his voice, and as soon as he came on the mic, he was like, ah!
Real New York presence.
He just basically, anybody that was before him didn't matter at that point, and anything after was all him.
Yeah.
And that's something I adopted very early, and I was like, I don't care what I do.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
But I need to do that without this.
Yeah.
So how do I make that happen? You know what I mean? And that's what really created my aggressiveness when I DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Like the hip hop songs of just bang, or you heard me with the reggae on like
Crazy.
bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang. You know what I mean? Like just like
Make you-
continuous punches
you're
in
gonna
the face.
get this work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what he really, I mean, he's really the birth of that in me. And then Jeff is just the technical, smooth side of me. I was just like, even though neither of those guys are mixers.
Yeah.
Mixing has always been my thing.
And that's I find to be a real Canadian thing. Canadian DJs
And it's a lost
specialize
art.
in
It's a
that's
lost
true.
art.
That is true.
It's
You
a
know
lost
what I
art.
mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's due to technology, lack of interest, not lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
That's all the guys that were playing when I started were all mixers.
Yeah.
You know what I
had
mean?
to be. That
You
was
had
a
to be.
Canadian way.
But that's why even our bottom tier shitty DJs can dust any of those guys out.
yeah.
But we've always been known as that. DJs hated coming to Toronto.
Yeah. They were always aggressive on the mic, but we were always aggressive on the turntable.
Yeah.
That was where
Capri is your ultimate US DJ.
Yeah.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's your atypical
Yeah.
US DJ.
Aggressive on
But
the
he
mic.
can rock.
Yeah.
He can rock. You know what I mean?
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, you can never put those two together. Like it wouldn't be fair.
Okay, especially from an outside perspective. You know what I mean? I get that. We've hit the end of the rapid facts round. Now the floor is 100% yours. Anybody you want to big up, anything you want to tell people, anything you want to say, because I'm not going to hit you with a typical, hey, what do you plan in the future? Because I know that answer already. You're not great at planning 5 years from now. That's not
or
your thing.
tomorrow.
Yeah. So yeah, floor is yours. Big up, shout up, leave your contacts, anything. Floor is yours right now. Scratch.
Just put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Just same people I mentioned. My family always first. My SFS ENT team. You know, Tim and I are partners. We do everything. Pause. Yeah, and just all the people that work with us. Tracy, Troy, Bones, Tough Cat, who's been with me forever.
Yeah.
Who am I forgetting? Arctic. I'm trying to think of my Conrad, Byron, Nunu, T. That's my team.
Yeah.
So anything we do, we incorporate the team and everything. Yeah, and just, like I say, I'm never going to stop. I'm
Yeah.
going to try not to stop. I'm just struggling.
Yeah.
So
Under your logo has an infinity sign. You can't stop.
you're absolutely correct.
And
I
I
can't
mean-
stop. But I mean, I'm just going to keep creating new lanes, keep creating fun events for people. And I'm just going to try to, land on my feet again.
Yeah.
And try to find my happy place. And I hope I can do it sooner than later. Before I continuously lose taste for what I'm doing right now, because there's no worse feeling than going to work and not having fun at work.
100%, and especially that's how you built your career. You know what I mean? You don't go to a 9 to 5 job and, oh man, I hate it. I can't wait till 4:59 so I can pack up and get out of here at 5. That's not how your life is. You know what I mean? So I get it, but Scratch, we're rooting for you. As I said, when it comes to skills, that's not even a question. I seen what you did Saturday night. You know what I mean? Amazing, amazing, amazing. You know what I mean? Scratch, let me tell you something. You actually hold a record now for the longest podcast.
I figured that was going to happen. And I got so much more to say.
I got so much more to ask. Okay, how about this? On air, can I ask you, can we do a part 2 eventually?
Sure.
All right. Scratch, it's been amazing. Duke, how was it? Dope, eh?
Dope.
Crazy. Everybody's going to learn so much. Your openness, how you were just interactive, amazing, Scratch. Thank you so very much for coming through. Again, this is Muscle for another Two Line Music Hut Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out.
For now.
For now. This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinedmusichut.com.